Starting to the bottom right of Polar Knight, we have the Terran player down one game in this best of 3 already. It is
Azubu SuperNova.
SuperNova on a controversial team, very strong Terran player.
Starting to the top, we have his opponent, the Protoss player.
STXO Deer.
Deer is currently ahead in this best of 3. If he is able to take another map of SuperNova, then Deer will face SOS right away, and the loser of the Protoss versus Protoss would then go up against SuperNova to determine the second player who goes to the round of 16.
Yes. Well, this is a pretty fun map. Oh, I missed that.
What has Moby done with Kaldor?
Oh my God, Moby! That's who you are! I was thinking about this. You look like somebody. You know, I'm looking through like anime characters in my mind. I'm flipping through like all the trading cards of like every celebrity who has glasses. Finally it becomes Moby. Moby, yes. Oh,
I'm not sure if I like that.
That's who you are, Kaldor. You're Moby.
Okay.
That's who it is. Okay, that all makes sense now. But anyways, back to the map.
Well played, son.
Speaking of the map, if you look at the middle of the map, it looks like if the watchtowers are eyes, the map has glasses just like that. You see that?
Yeah.
That's something I noticed. The map is a pretty long rush.
You have 1 week, Wolf. 1 week to make fun of the glass.
Okay. I will...
Then they will be gone forever. Unless they screw up my surgery.
That will not happen. If it does, I'll have to go in and screw them up, but we'll see.
I would like to come and watch, but if they screw it up, I probably can't, so...
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Look at this very careful scouting here by Deer. He's checking very, very carefully. Or hiding something, but I think he's checking. Oh, he's hiding something. This could be very likely a Stargate or even a Twilight Council.
Yeah, and the main question now, of course, is SuperNova is really scouting this. One of the biggest problems that you always have going up against a new map is that you don't really know about all the positions where a Protoss player or a Terran player is going to proxy buildings and trying to hide them. So SuperNova might just go for the normal scouting to the main base and trying to get an inkling of what's going on. But if he actually scouts to the left side, that's something that we're going to find out soon. And it is, of course, a Stargate, so we will most likely see an Oracle play.
Yeah, and okay, so he sees the Chrono Boost on the Mothership core, so that's going to indicate to him, okay, this is not necessarily a hidden building, but he knows a lot of things. Like, for example, he's only seen 2 pylons. He saw there wasn't a Stalker building, so he knows gas is going somewhere else. He just doesn't know what it is. That's why he checks the natural. And with the Reaper opening, it's really good for scouting, but it's about scouting the main base most of the time. If he doesn't see the Stargate, it's not going to matter.
Exactly, and well, of course, the pylons always give you a little bit of an indication what's going on. If you see the pylon numbers, you can assume what's happening in the game. But if those Reapers do not scout that Stargate and the Oracle comes into the main base of SuperNova without him actually being in a position where he can defend against it, he might suffer too many work losses. He might be in a position where he's just too far behind in the game.
He doesn't have a lot of Marines because he made those Reapers. That takes a long time to build, getting that reactor up early. And so, yeah, he will be able to ward off the Oracle, but it's not going to be easy.
He's getting a bunker at the front, though, so it looks like he definitely has an idea of what's happening here. He will see the expansion of Deer, though, and that already gives him then I think as soon as he sees the expansion, he's probably going to assume that he can just start with his own, but he actually sees the Oracle as well, so that's like the best thing that could have happened to him here.
Yeah, and the bunker is done at the front. Doesn't have to worry about anything there. Can just move his Marines into the middle line. He probably won't even lose more than 1 worker, if even that.
Let's also not forget that he has a Widow Mine already on the way, and the Widow Mine will be in the game in just a second. That is actually a problem for him. He doesn't have enough Marines here to fend this off. Wow. This is a huge problem, and he should have known that. But with the 2 Marines that are popping out, okay, that was the saving grace. But still,
he lost all his Marines.
Yeah, he lost 5 Marines this early, and he also lost SCV. So that was actually for Deer, that was pretty decent.
Yeah, that was a good trade for him, and there's a few things to note here. First of all, there's no second Oracle. If there were, that could snowball out of control pretty fast. And also, there's a command star up with SuperNova, so he has the ability to drop double mules. He's got that extra saturation going to happen in just a second, plus the extra SCVs. And these Reapers, unfortunately for them, not really able to make it work here, not going to stick around. Yeah,
Mothership Korea actually moving in again, taking down one of them right away. But the expansion is, of course, also up for Soul, for STX Soul Deer, so he can do something with that. The question remaining is, will SuperNova be able to utilize the medivac that he's getting right now with the additional Widow Mines that we already have in the game to do some counter damage to his opponent?
Exactly. Right now, the Robo is done, and he's getting his first observer. But he's only going to have one, and the Widow Mine is already here. It's not waiting on anybody. If he can get that burrowed next to these units, that would be ideal, and he does not actually get that off. It's not even close enough to do damage to probes, but this is something that Deer is going to have to be very careful with while he gets his second observer. Reaper going into the main base here.
Yeah, nice counter-aggression here by SuperNova for sure, and if those Medivacs come into play, then he can also just level those Widow Mines into the main base and then try to burrow them inside of the mineral line. That would really give him a little bit of momentum here. But Dia is doing a decent job. In the main base, on the other hand, he's already losing Harvesters, and that should not have happened.
Gets 2, damages a few of the other ones. Had he targeted, it could have been better, but here comes that boost in the main base. 2 Widow Mines here. And even if he has observers, the Widow Mines are still going to do their damage. The probes pulled away at the last second. There's Marines still chasing on the other hand. Stalker gets blown up as well. This is a good trade so far if he can save the medevac.
Yeah, he's doing a decent job here, and let's not forget that the pylon is already being taken out here, so that will actually supply block him.
This has been, he finished another one just as you said that, but this has been some crazy counter-aggression here by SuperNova. Really, really liking it. Just the multitasking is insane. Killing the pylon, microing the Widow Mine, saving them, going in for another counterattack. He's got units poised to the south as well to come in for that second drop. And there's not a whole lot back at home for Deer to defend this. He needs to react, and here we go. The natural right now, he's dropping in.
SuperNova definitely turning up the heat here. Once again, burrowing the Widow Mine, trying to take down as many Harvesters as possible. Killing another few off and retreating here. There's already 1 observer, so that definitely gives him the vision that he needs. 8 workers killed by SuperNova on the other hand.
Yep.
And
Stargate is gone as well. Duly noted there, and I have to say I like SuperNova's position a lot here because he's also getting his upgrades at the same time that Deer is, giving him, you know, not a massive lead in upgrades, but at least he's staying even. A big problem sometimes for Terrans in this matchup.
Dark Shrine now coming into play for Deer. And with the Dark Shrine, he could actually do a lot here. So far, we don't have any missile turrets in the game, so SuperNova will have to rely on his scans.
Yeah, he's going to need some scans for sure, and he starts the first missile turret now. But his third base is very exposed, and I don't see him making missile turrets over there, at least not anytime soon.
Did he actually see the Dark Shrine? He must have, right?
I'm going to check that for you.
I actually missed that then. I thought he didn't know. But the missile turret, I mean, if that's just
He didn't see it, it's just a precaution.
That's pretty sweet then, though.
Yeah, that's what you call playing safe, for sure. He looks like he wants to go out for a drop here, or he's expecting some sort of yeah, he's going for a drop.
I mean, he's getting the third base behind this. He's going for the missile turret now, so he's going to play the safe. The upgrades are already on the production tab. He's moving out now with this dropship as well. And Dia, even though he started with a lot of aggression and some nice plays here, he's starting to fall behind a little bit. He needs to do damage with the tech advantage that he has. If he's not able to make this happen, then he is most likely going to lose that game in the long run.
Yeah.
He saw those medivacs, and that was really important. But on the other hand, the Warp Prism also has been spotted.
Spotted even a second time by the factory. So he's warping in DTs to lift up into the main base right now on the other side of the map while this drop comes in. So both players are going to have to multitask here. Not enough units to actually make this work. Does boost away right away. Here come those DTs. He's got 3 of them, and they're going to do a lot of damage here if SuperNova is not careful. I like that bunker so much. And the turret, the placement here is everything, and this time it's not going to be able to do a whole lot, but he saved scans very intelligently.
Important for Dia, of course, is the Storm tech now. With Storm, he can do a lot here, but a nice drop coming on and a very good angle, trying to take down that forge. I don't think he will be able to accomplish that. Has to move back here first.
Yep, taking out a few Zealots, but that's it. Nice scan here. Will save the turret. Another DT, though, going to the third base. Does he have any detection there? Not yet. The bunker will complete, and SuperNova needs a pause.
SuperNova needs to pause the game here, but he is still in a really good position. I'm not quite sure what exactly is wrong. He's 20 supply ahead of his opponent now. He has that third base. And you know, even at the third, we already have a missile turret going up. So I do not think that he will be able to do... well, that Dia will be able to do too much damage there.
Yeah. Here's, of course, our referee coming in to talk to SuperNova. He's going to let him know what is going on with either with his PC or with the map or what the issue is. I like SuperNova's position a lot, though. He's got control of both watchtowers. He's got so many medevacs still open on the map. He's got his factory floating. He's scouted everywhere. He just has a lot of vision on the map, and he's defending this harassment quite well so far.
I actually think that the situation that we have right now is really advantageous for Dia. Not in the game, but the break that we have, because Dia can now just sit back and be like, okay, he has the third base up and can just think a little bit about what's currently going on. Because as you already said, SuperNova is definitely ahead in the game, And Dia needs to just take a step back from the screen right now and think about what he's going to do next. Because in this position, he's already falling behind. But with the Storm that he has, he might be able to start a comeback. If he gets good Storms against his opponent, that's maybe exactly the right thing for him to do, and kind of what he has to hope for.
Yeah, exactly. Storm is right now halfway done. He's warping in additional DTs. He has the +2 armor upgrade on the way, something SuperNova does not have. He's only got the +1, doesn't have any additional upgrades coming out, doesn't have the armor yet completed. As far as I know, yeah, I just verified that he doesn't have the armory.
The one thing that really works for SuperNova here is that he was playing so safe, that he got the additional missile turret that's also good against the Warp Prism itself, so warp-ins in the main base are not going to be an issue that the Terran player has to deal with anytime soon. And that gives him that massive lead. He has a very stable position here, and SuperNova knows that he's falling behind in economy. And his tech lead is not that huge. The only thing that we don't see are ghosts. So that's something where, of course, SuperNova has also to make a decision. Yeah. And he has the economy to back that up. You already see him with a lot of resources already on the board, and he has still that supply advantage. And apparently the problem seems to be that SuperNova has an issue with the sound here.
Yeah. And of course we've got a countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will be resuming the game. So it looks like everything is resolved. And at least it was a sound issue and nothing bigger than that, because that can really get into your head.
So whatever the problem was, it has been resolved. It was something with the sound. We don't know exactly what. The DT going to town at the third, but the reinforcements already streaming in, making sure that the Dark Templar is not getting too cheeky here. And Dia, it looks like he wants to go for an expansion on his own. They send the probe to the right side of the map.
Yeah. There's a big group of units unloaded by SuperNova to the north. He's ready to run in and do some damage. He stemmed them, in fact, but did not actually attack with them.
Yeah, those are the same units that started to drop a little bit earlier. That didn't go too well for him because Dia was ready. He saw those medivacs earlier on, and at this point in time, SuperNova was still trying to distract his opponent a little bit, just to do damage and to keep him busy while he's getting that economy advantage. Even calling down the extra supplies here since he
got a little bit flustered.
Yeah, he didn't pay too much attention to the supply depots here, and keep in mind that, of course, that pause already also affected him a little bit.
And then the question becomes, is SuperNova playing too safely here? He has a third base. I really like that. He hasn't added all the barracks he could have yet, nor has he added that Ghost Academy. And Deer is starting to push those upgrades out. He's really got a ton of clone energy to use to helping that. SuperNova's army right now, on the other hand, is 20 supply up, forces the cancel on the Nexus. His economy continues to be superior. Will we see some storms here? Looks like he's going to get away.
Yeah, getting away here, of course, feedback also something that the medivacs have to be careful about. With good feedbacks, he could really do a whole lot here. But I like that Dia is also getting all those cannons here. That helps him a little bit. But he's still on 2 bases. The Zealots charge in. Here come the feedbacks. The scan ahead, trying to find out what exactly he has to deal with. SuperNova has to be careful, but the 2 drops that we have to the top right are now aiming for the main base.
I would love to see him try to grab that forge. That would be really, really good for him, because if he can knock that forge down, it really further puts those upgrades that he had out earlier back into his favor. He is being chased away here. I like his decision to retreat. Here comes that drop, going right for the forge. Mothership Core is here. He's got the feedback, and he needs to target that forge. He needs to get at least something out of this while his army is under attack in the middle of the map.
Yeah, he's trying to take down at least the forge, and he's already able to do that, and he's going straight for the robotics as well, and he will most likely get it with all those
Gonna be close.
That's a lot of DPS. He might be able to pull it off. And oh my god, with 36 hit points, just barely saving it. But we have another storm in the middle of the map where the Terran player has to run away here. Hightail it out.
SuperNova's losing his edge here, and he's got to lift his third base. His command center is up in the sky right now. Meanwhile, another attack underway. And I'm starting to worry for him here because there's so many Templar. He's not really dealt with those nice target attempt here, but he doesn't even kill it.
SuperNova is starting to fall a little bit apart here. We talked about the advantage in tech that we have for Dia with the Storm ready, and there are no ghosts in the picture. He has a lot that can tank those storms at the beginning. This is Dia, and he has to do something. He wants to go in, but that's a really solid defense with 3 bunkers already, but the storms are decent as well.
The storms are really, really good here, hitting the medivacs now as well, and SuperNova falling back. He's losing the bunkers here. Looks like he will be able to push Deer back. Deer overextending just a little bit. Does he have any storms? It doesn't look like it. And Deer with a great attempt here, but the defense of SuperNova was just too strong as Micro is splitting there. Too much for Deer.
2 additional High Templars come in, and that's exactly the time when SuperNova backs off. That was really good. Seeing those 2 High Templars moving in, that was very important. If he runs into storms with all those damaged Terran bio units, then he might lose his entire army. But the big problem here for SuperNova is he had a 3rd base, and he suddenly lost that edge. He doesn't have that 3rd anymore. He doesn't have the 3rd mineral line. Whereas Dia is about to complete his 3rd nexus to the right side of the map and will still get ahead in terms of economy.
Yeah. This is such a funny game because it's so back and forth. Both players getting edges and then losing them.
the upgrades are something that really works now in favor of SuperNova a little bit if he gets them out. We had the Fortune was already sniped. Here's an attempt to snipe the Nexus as well with a Photon overcharge and the army moving in, and SuperNova can't really pull that off just yet.
I'm really liking SuperNova's multitasking here, showing he knows how to multitask with the best of them here. This drop could be a disaster for SuperNova, though, with a High Templar ready for feedback and Zealots and even a cannon. He needs to decide what he wants to get done here. He decides to unload. I'm not sure if this is the right choice. How much is he going to get done? He's going to get these Zealots. What's going on with the Colossus there?
The Colossus is trying to move in and he doesn't have range yet, but here come the rest of the units trying to make something happen. He has to be very careful, though. Another set of units running towards the third base trying to snipe it, but there's another Archon already in the picture. 2 cannons, and we still have High Templars for Storm. Really good defense here by Deer.
Yeah, SuperNova trying to do a lot of things at once here. His army just not quite big enough to stick around in the main base. Also, his side attack wasn't able to break through because the Photon Overcharge was still active. But like you said, his upgrades are coming out here. He's got +2 attack now completed. He's re-landing his third base, and I like both players' positions almost equally now because SuperNova is switching into Ghost, but he also has to deal with Colossi now. Very difficult to manage your composition in the late game.
The position for Dia on 3 bases is really something where he can allow himself to go into those different tech paths just because he has the resources to pull this off. And of course he wants to force SuperNova to decide between Medivacs and Vikings. We do not have those additional starports for SuperNova just yet, so he's not that flexible with this Viking and Medivac production that he wants to be. And he also doesn't have the resources, the bank to make that happen. In the middle of the map, on the other hand, another engagement between the two of them, and at least the Mothership Core is going down here against the Vikings.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sloppy engagement by Deer. You never want to go up a ramp and into a line of sight blocker without vision. And that's exactly what he did with the Zealots, baiting out some charges. SuperNova was able to take those down with some good kiting. And he's making a lot of ghosts here. He realizes, okay, there's not so many Colossi right now. I'm going to get these ghosts out instead because EMPs, even if you don't hit Templar with them, are still good. Nice catch here on the Medivacs, though.
Yeah, really good catch there. Boosting away. One is already down and another one is being intercepted in the main base. Gets away, though. SuperNova very map aware of the situation. Sees the Stalkers right away.
You know, I think since Deer is controlling the map right now, he could take a 4th base really easily. As long as he keeps that control over the watchtowers, keeps pushing SuperNova back, and holding the high ground here with Colossi and Storm is something you never want to engage as a Terran player. He's got to find another way around.
Yeah, he doesn't really need that 4th base right now. He's going to be a lot more aggressive within the next few minutes here. He's just posturing around in the middle of the map, trying to find a good angle to engage, and always, of course, trying to find out where exactly the Terran army is positioned.
Good feedback there on the Ghost. Very rare to see that happen.
Nice snipe on the Observer. That was important.
Yeah, really important here. And craziness here, Ghost versus Templar. Looks like the Templar win in the end. A few Ghosts do escape, but still the better position for Deer, who, like you said, being aggressive here, holding that high ground, continuing to warp in units. He's not taking that 4th Nexus just yet.
And he has quite a lot of High Templars that he can use here. 10 High Templars, and there comes an amazing Storm. Really well done. The Terran army is stimming up that ramp, trying to go for it. Archons are being warped in. Here come the Colossi. The first one already sniped. The second one about to go down. A lot of damage dished out by Deer as well. It needs another round of warp-ins. The rest of the High Templars already moving into the high ground.
Here come those Templar you're talking about. They've got so much energy. A great Storm here on those Medivacs needs to boost away, and SuperNova's army is starting to melt. Even the Immortals coming into play here, doing so much damage to the Marauders, and it doesn't look like SuperNova's going to hold on much longer.
God, he's losing so many of the Medivacs, and he has to make the decision of producing Vikings or Medivacs. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter what he produces. It looks like he's going to fall down. He's 40 supply behind his opponent. He's losing that 3rd base, and there is the GG.
Not even a lift on the command center. Deer wipes him clean here, taking the 2-0 victory.
A little bit what we expected coming into the series. I didn't expect it to be this one-sided in terms of the result. I thought we might see a 3rd map between the two of them. But Dia, he is a monster in the Protoss versus Terran, and he has shown it in this first game of the WCS Premier League in the round of 32.
What a crazy game we had there. Game number 2, a lot of back and forth. I liked SuperNova's position from the start, but he kept doing harassments that essentially failed over and over again. He wasted a lot of his units. And wasted is not really the right word here. I feel like it was more of a great defense by Deer. He was always able to catch those Medivacs, have the feedbacks and the High Templar ready.
Dia played this really well. In game number 1, we saw him with a lot of aggression, moving in right away. SuperNova misreading the situation a little bit and falling behind in the best of 3 after just a few minutes. And the second game, I feel a lot more indicative of how strong Dia actually is. Defending against SuperNova when the Terran player was on 3 bases and was trying to apply the pressure and then just turning things around.
Yeah. Really, really well done there. And the great control of the high ground. That was
Yeah.
where he was able to win most of his engagements with those storms.
The storms, they were spot on, and especially when he was feedbacking those ghosts earlier on, we just moved down the ramp, and that was one of the big problems that SuperNova had. In this situation, he doesn't have the vision on the high ground, and when the ghosts moved, the High Templars moved down, he didn't see that soon enough, so suddenly all those feedbacks go off. He gets 1 or 2 EMPs in, but that just was not enough with the additional High Templars coming in from behind, and then against the storms, he just didn't have anything to stomach that.
Exactly. So we are going to go into a 5-minute break before we have our Protoss versus Protoss. Of course, SOS taking that win with the forfeit over Jongbi. So we'll be back in just a few with Protoss versus Protoss.